Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 17. DraftKings picks the day after Christmas coming to you. We're talking about the main slate today, and we're going live on Mayo Media Network, on X, on Facebook, everywhere you want to be. We're here. Davis Mattek is back, stepping in for John and Tambo, who will be back next week. They have family, so they are taking the day off. But Davis, this is the first time you've been on the show. Many people say that's great news, but now you're back. But it's the first time since you became a father. Congratulations. How was Christmas?
Christmas was great, man. It was nice with the in-laws, so didn't have to didn't have to travel. My in-laws live real close, which is huge. Not having to travel with a 6-week-old baby. Yeah, it was a great Christmas. Got to watch my Kansas City Chiefs lose a game that they desperately needed to lose for draft pick reasons. So that was good. Got to watch some hoops. I mean, it's so and I know you and I have talked about this a lot on the Takecast, but like the football yesterday, I mean, basically unwatchable. Like just the shittiest, worst quarterback play. Everyone's injured. We're watching Josh Johnson, and every basketball game was awesome. They were all good, and like somehow Max Brosmer, Jared Goff is going to be like the 9th highest rated football game of all time.
The Vikings won. Big upset.
Big upset. Yeah, I did see my For You page was serving me up this guy who spent his entire Christmas responding to everyone who said Max Brosmer sucked with scoreboard, 0 turnovers, got the win. And I was just like, man, crazy Christmas, bro. Crazy Christmas for that guy.
I was going to be invested. I felt very good about some of my bets, and I had like a bunch of underdog tickets. I was like, all right, I can see these coming through for me. Now, everyone that I fill out ends up working like that. But this one I was like, all right. And it like kind of hinged on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt under 29.5 rushing yards. And then I wake up, everything's going fine. I check my phone, I'm like, yeah, let's see if there's any last minute things that are going on here. And like, oh, Chris Rodriguez is, I was like, wow, my day is cooked. I don't even have to watch anymore.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez woke up with the sniffles on Christmas. He said, "I'm good, bro. I'm good. Let Bill do it." 72-yard touchdown. That 72-yard touchdown run gave me a massive sweat in like high stakes fantasy football. I'm up to 17th in the NFC Online Championship with only Bill having played, so like a $250,000 sweat this weekend, basically, just kind of sick.
How realistic is your shot at first place?
We are 17 points back, and I didn't check every team, but I think we're the only team in the top 20 that doesn't have Puka, but we have Trey McBride, JSN, Barkley, and James Cook kind of like as our stud players. So I actually think it's probably pretty realistic.
That's not bad. You just need Puka to have a bad game, really.
I mean, even just 20. So he gets 20, JSN gets 27, and Barkley just, shoves it. We're pretty live.
It's not bad. Well, good luck. Let's see if we can get you. That's going to be a terrible sweat though, because Puka plays on Monday night, doesn't he?
Horrible. And all these underdog best balls, like prolonging it to Monday night. Like if you're sitting up there in best ball mania overnight on Sunday, like my God, man, I don't know how you sleep. Like that is waiting. And Kyle Pitts is so owned and all this stuff too. So just sitting and waiting for Puka and Kyle Pitts to play on Monday night is just got to be like the worst feeling imaginable.
Well, at least you have a run at big money. I think a lot of people will just trade places with you.
Yeah. I mean, I did not realize until this morning. I was not sweating that yesterday. Like I didn't even think about it until I checked. I checked this morning because people are still arguing about Bill online, and someone said, "Yeah, you would have dropped him if you're any good at fantasy football." And I was like,
True.
I bet I was gonna say I was thinking in my head, I was like, I bet I have a team that's live somewhere to make me money that has Bill on it, and I was right.
So the chat is saying that it's fun to have a guest who's doing a Mina Kimes impression.
Oh, dude, Mina Kimes is doing. Did you see this?
I did. I saw it. It's funny.
Okay, yeah. I mean, shout out to Mina.
Well, she wasn't doing a you impression. She was doing the same thing that I do, like generic internet voice guy. You just happen to have generic internet voice.
I'm just dumb guy on the internet talking about football. Like it wasn't like she's familiar with my oeuvre. She just, is like, I bet that this is what this idiot sounds like, and she was right.
Nailed it. Well,
Nailed it.
All right. Well, listen, if she's a friend of the show, Mina Kimes. It's been a while since she's been on, but still, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Yeah. I mean, look, man, I'm never getting into an online argument with Mina Kimes. Literally the last person I would try and correct about like something minor or technical on the internet.
You don't want to get dogpiled on?
I sure don't. I sure don't. I only engage in internet battles where I can be the clear victor, like against these just total idiots from fantasy football Twitter. And Mina Kimes, not an idiot, so not worth it.
True. So the last 2 weeks, the show's been doing really well. I've built lineups on this show. I ended up coming 5th in the big $100, like there were the 2,000 person $100. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week I came 9th. So do you think we can come first this week?
I mean, I think that's a clear trend, right? The line's only moving in one direction.
Well, I did go down a little bit as well. So, I mean, I went 5th, then I went 9th. So maybe I'm going to fall outside the top 10. If Tyler Shuck had just thrown that last touchdown and not
Instead of
Taysom Hill, it was a $15,000 swing for me.
It's pretty brutal, man.
Well,
Pretty
I didn't
brutal.
know that at the time when I was watching. I was, man, I could really use those extra Shuck points. And then it turned out that was like the difference between 9th and 2nd place. Stupid.
Not loving that.
Yeah,
No,
not
I
loving
feel
Taysom Hill, although let's jump over. The 4for4 optimizer has actually spit out Taysom Hill as, oh, that's the wrong tab. Let's see here. I'm doing everything. Everyone, I gave everyone else the week off for vacation and Christmas holidays. We're already seeing the technical difficulties that I'm having here, switching it over. So the optimal this week, 4for4.com/Mayo, gives it here for you. It's Lawrence with Myers, then Ramondre and Chase Brown as the running backs, Jamar Chase as a receiver, Pittman, Taysom Hill, Genty, and Steelers D. What do you hate about this lineup?
I will not be playing any Pittman. The rest of it, I think, looks pretty similar to what I've got in my sheet. Won't pay up for the Steelers defense either. I do prefer Chase to JSN. Oh, and no chance on Chase Brown either for me.
Why no Chase Brown? Just because of the split that he has with Pirine right now?
Yeah, I mean, he just like these splits. Chase Brown's obviously like a little bit better than Pirine, but he is like legitimately only playing like 55% of the snaps. I mean, Pirine had a goal line touchdown last week. It just didn't matter because Chase Brown scored 3 touchdowns in 8 minutes of game time. I'm not saying that Chase Brown is a bad play. I think he is probably overpriced relative to like what you would expect from him, though.
So, what are the chances Trivia and Henderson ends up playing here? Because he did get back to practice this week, which would put him on the right timeline to pass. If he doesn't pass, how owned is Ramondre going to be?
I mean, we'll know today because if he's not able to get in a full practice today, I think that means he's not going to clear the protocol. I would assume that Stevenson, if Ramondre does not play against the Jets, will probably be the second most owned player of the slate behind Gene.
How does Stevenson fail in that regard then? Like, what has to happen for him not to get there?
He just doesn't score. It's just like May throws one long touchdown to Mac Hollins. May runs one in. They get a defensive touchdown. You know, because Stevenson he'll probably get 16 rushes for 82 yards and 4 receptions for 15 yards. And if he scores, it'll be a good day. And if he doesn't score, you will have not wanted to have had him.
Okay. How does Genty fail? Just by being Ashton Genty?
I guess, how would Genty fail here?
Well, I mean, he's failed in most games this year, so he could just do that.
Yeah, but he's smashed every time that they've played a close game. Every time the score has been even within under 6 points, he is completely smashed.
So the optimizer is telling me by far the 2 best value. Genty's by far the best value. Chase Brown is easily the second best value. Then it's Stevenson, Gainwell, and then there's a drop off to like HN, Jonathan Taylor,
Yeah,
ETN.
we got to be careful. We got to be careful with the Steelers stuff though, because if the Ravens lose to the Packers in the Tyler Huntley versus Malik Willis Bowl, the Steelers are, I believe, just locked into the 4 seed.
Yes. But I don't think that they're going to start resting guys this week. I still think they'll rest them. I think they'll rest them next week.
I don't think they will rest anyone either. But I bet the total for that game actually has already dropped. I think a 1.5. And I would imagine that if the game really doesn't matter at all, there's a chance that they make Caleb Johnson active, which would signify something not great for just Gainwell and Warren getting those 4th quarter points.
So, I mean, injuries are going to be big on this. Kamara's not going to play, right? At least we assume that he's not.
Is he even with the team? Like, I feel like this dude has been in Aruba for weeks.
I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic news. But it's just if Kamara somehow ends up playing, I don't think you can play Taysom Hill anymore.
No, I don't think you can play Taysom. And I probably am not. I'm probably more on Michael Mayer for a true punt. That one's pretty close between Taysom and Mayer.
Well, if you want to take out Pittman, let's just say we're rolling with this. And I do right now, the projections have Genty at like 60% and Stevenson right around 50%. So
Mhm.
I think the best way to hedge against that would be play the Raiders passing onslaught or the defense or play Drake May, Matt Collins, and like whatever without Stevenson and just hope everything breaks that way.
Yeah, I think I like Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side of that game more than Michael Pittman.
Okay, but we have Lawrence in though. We need someone from Indianapolis. You mean Alec Pierce?
I don't think you need anyone from Indianapolis. That's kind of something I've actually realized a lot running a lot of the sim stuff this year is the bringbacks. I guess when the bringbacks project, okay, it's more just forcing the bringbacks. I guess if I was going to play a Colt, I would maybe even go Tyler Warren actually.
Why do you like Ward?
I mean, he just is there at a more valuable position. Pittman's usage with Rivers in has been really bad. Like he's not they're not doing any of the they're not doing any of the RPO stuff. He obviously doesn't get anything down the field. Like Downs has been targeted more often in the short areas. And then Pierce obviously gets all the down the field stuff. And Warren is the first read when they do the RPO stuff. So it just feels like Pittman has really been marginalized in the
Well,
offense.
okay. Well, if we take out Pittman and Taysom Hill, we can just easily slot in Downs and Theo Johnson, and that's a 2v2. That's pretty easy. We keep a Colt to come back, and then we get Theo Johnson to go opposite Genty. I don't think that Dart is going to look as bad as he did last week.
So the thing that I'm worried about with the Giants is since Kafka started taking over the play calling, I think they're like negative 17% PROE. Like
Yeah.
they're basically just like going into every game saying, Dart, please don't get hurt and please lose the game. Can we please just get as good as possible as a draft pick and not have you get concussed again?
So you like Michael Mayer as the punt then?
I slight preference for Mayer over Taysom, yeah.
Okay, but we already have Genty in this lineup. Like, do you want to have two Raiders in it, or do we just take Genty out and try to figure this out elsewhere?
No, I think you just do Mayor because like I think that, like there's like a good lesson to have been learned from the Cardinal stuff this year. Remember the week that Brissett, Wilson, Dortch, McBride was the Millie winner. It's like the team only scored, I think, 24 points that week, but it's just so condensed on a few guys. Like I'm not anticipating a big role for like Alex Bachman Turner overdrive, in this game. So I would imagine and there's already been games this year where Genty and Bowers had over there's been two games this year where Genty and Bowers have had over 55% of every touch for the Raiders. So like you are pretty much getting any points the Raiders score here.
So if we do that, I mean, we could upgrade our defense too on top of this. But that brings us, so we go from Pittman down to Downs. Now we can go from Downs back up to Pierce at $4,700. Who
I'd probably go down to like the Eagles defense or the rate maybe even the Raiders or how about the Browns defense against the Steelers who might have the spot qualified and then get up to a different wide receiver.
we could, I mean, we could do that, or we could just use Seahawks D, who's going to absolutely annihilate the Panthers.
They are going to do that.
And the Saints D is going
yeah.
to annihilate Cam Ward.
Yeah, Cam Ward's going to have a tough time. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know. I just maybe I'm just having a hard time buying into the Philip Rivers experience for the Colts. And maybe that's a personal flaw from me not buying into it.
He looks wildly competent.
He looks very competent. I mean, you could just see in the second half of that game though, like once it got into like, well, instead of just like pointing and clicking, we actually need you to like kind of make a play. Things went sideways pretty quickly, which I mean still can beget fantasy numbers. He could also like throw a screen pass to Jonathan Taylor that turns into an 80-yard touchdown. I don't know. because they do all project well this week. Pierce, Downs, and Pittman and Warren. I just ran my stuff with like 1,000 lineups and graded out the lineups, and there are tons of Colts in the top 100 lineups.
I can see that. It just feels like if Pierce hits, he hits the biggest.
Yes, yeah. For Pittman or Downs to hit, they both have to have like 10 receptions or something.
Which is feasible in this game, I suppose, especially if they're chasing the entire time. Honestly, just Taylor seems like the play in this game, and I don't know if anyone's going to get to him because everyone's using Genty and Stevenson.
No, Taylor will be 8%, maybe something like that.
That's what I mean. He's going to be incredibly low owned. This is a good spot for him because I think this game is closer than the line. I like the Colts here.
I mean, if we do that, why don't we just do Jonathan Taylor instead of Chase Brown and then go down from Pierce to like Rashid Shaheed or something?
Ugh. Did you get the double dip?
I didn't even think about that. Or we could punt defense and go up to Brian Thomas Jr. and do the double stack.
I mean, all we need to do to get Taylor in this line, I mean, we can get rid of Pierce too if we want to. We can just get rid of Seahawks D.
If we put the Browns D in, what can we do at wide receiver?
If we use the Browns, put in the Browns at 2,500, we get up to 5,500 at receiver.
We could do
Brian Thomas. Favorite play on the slate. Can't wait for another 0 points from Marvin Harrison Jr.
So I was with you last week. On Marvin Harrison Jr. I played lineups with Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. But what happened last time when he had the heel injury and then he came back, or no, the appendectomy? Michael Wilson stayed in the X wide receiver role in this game instead of giving it back to Marvin Harrison Jr. Not to say you can't play Marvin Harrison Jr., but I like Michael Wilson more than him this time.
I still don't. And it's mainly because it was very clearly limited last week for Marvin Harrison. He just wasn't doing what we thought that he was going to do. So he only played like 52% of the snaps, but he got some like high leverage targets in that game. Like the Wilson touchdown was an absolute fluke. So like, congratulations, you got there on Michael Wilson, but he's just so cheap. I think he had 2 end zone. He dropped a touchdown. Like they were still just looking for him down the field. Like, well, once we get into like the game by game builds, like the Brissett, Marvin Harrison, McBride side, like we just need to find the cheapest place. I just want to overload that game.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
All right, so we got Lawrence, Stevenson, Taylor, Myers, Chase, Marvin Harrison, Mayer, Genty with the Browns defense. I like this better than the first version that we had.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, lineups where you punt D just always feel good until the game start and the Seahawks have 27 and the Browns have 4, and you're like, well, shit.
Hey, listen, it worked for me last week with the Saints. Just pile in some Saints against the Jets. You're good to go.
Yeah. And I mean, look, dude, Rodgers is going to do what Favre did. He's definitely going to take at least one dive to Myles Garrett to give him a sack. So you can start with 1 sack.
That's good. So, yeah, we start at 1 and see what happens from there. Although the Browns defense has been unraveling over the past month.
I mean, just think about how hard that is to do what the Browns do. It's like, okay, we're this really good unit, but we know we're going to get our asses kicked every single week, and we're playing downhill, and our quarterback puts us in terrible spots every week.
Just trying to find the Dylan Sampson news. Limited. I think that he's going to be back.
Yeah, I think he's going to play.
Like, if he plays, he's actually a pretty good play, I think.
I mean, I agree. I think I probably like him better than Gainwell, given what I expect them each to be owned.
I would probably take, we'll find it like just as it pertains to props or on Underdog, like whatever his over receptions is, play that.
Yes, although playing with a hand injury might make that stuff a little bit weird. I guess I didn't really consider that.
It might, but if they're going to have him, if they're concerned, if he can't catch the ball because of a bad hand, he's probably not going to carry the ball with a bad hand because he's going to keep fumbling.
Yeah. Is it, I guess I don't know. Is it his dominant hand or is it his left hand?
Gee, you think I know these things, please?
Yeah. If it's his offhand, it probably matters a bit less.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Pat, amazing call on the Vikings upset. Oh, listen, the props didn't work out. Vikings money line saved a lot of my day, Davis, and then helping win $700 on DK. Perfect. It's awesome.
Brosmer Bros.
It was. I had the defense just everywhere. After watching Pittsburgh without TJ Watt harass Goff for 60 minutes, I was like, well, Minnesota has a much better defense, and they will harass Goff.
Yeah, and Brian Flores clearly does not respect Jared Goff, and he made that very, very known in that game.
I feel like you're a big Dan Campbell guy.
I like Dan Campbell just fine. I mean, I think he's like a little bit of a meathead, but I mean, I think pretty clearly what we've learned is that Ben Johnson was a pretty important part of what they had going on in Detroit, and they pretty sorely miss him.
Well, Cust has been saying Dayball to Detroit for next year, which I actually think would be a fantastic hire by them just to get something moving offensively again. But Campbell kind of pulled the rug out on everyone because he took over the play calling duties in that game against Washington, who has no defense. They look
Right.
great and they're like, oh, what a genius. And then it hasn't worked since.
It was well, I mean, it's worked for Jameson Williams a little bit. Nothing worked yesterday. I think they definitely do need. I mean, very similar to Kansas City. Like they just need to get some new ideas. They got to bring some new people in.
All right. You think about which game we should start with. But first, I want people to buy these things, but still stay tuned, okay?
Okay.
All right, people, it's that time of year again. The Mayo Cup is officially open. That's right, your yearly reminder that you could win life-changing money if you stop making coward picks and actually commit to greatness. Let's talk stakes, because the Mayo Cup, not messing around. $110,000 to first place. 110,000 actual, real dollars. And with your $250 entry, you're playing for a prize pool of $1.2 million. That's 7 figures of pure, delicious fantasy golf sweat. And this season, the Mayo Cup is fully available in the Fanball app. Week-to-week picks, leaderboard sweats, berating yourself for fading the guy who wins by 6. You can do it all right from your phone. So head to the Fanball app, search for the Mayo Cup, and get yourself entered. $1.2 million in prizes. 110,000 to the winner. Just $250 to play. This is the year. Unless you blow it again. But hey, you might not. Sign up now. The contest tees off January 15th. I gotta tell you about pre-alcohol, my secret weapon before a night out. I used to choose a great night or a great next day. Now, I get both with ZBiotics. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic made by PhD scientists to fight rough mornings. Alcohol creates a toxic byproduct in your gut, not dehydration, that ruins the next day. Pre-alcohol makes an enzyme to break it down. Drink it first, drink it responsibly, and wake up still feeling fresh. I was skeptical, but the first time that I tried it, rooftop, with my pals, drank it before my first cocktail, next morning, felt amazing, ready to crush the day. Go to zbiotics.com/PatMayo to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Pat Mayo at checkout. ZBiotic is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/PatMayo and use the code PatMayo at checkout for 15% off. The holidays are here, the season of giving, and at Underdog, they're going big. They even hooked me up with Thunderbirds tickets. It was great. It's like Underdog knows me better than I know myself. But here's the crazy part. They know you guys just as well. From now through the 31st, Underdog is dropping exactly what you want. Daily promos every single day. College football, pro football, basketball, fight sports, you name it. Promos every day for you to enjoy. So check your app every day. It's Underdog Unwrapped, and it's going to be our best one ever. Welcome back to the show. Davis, you got to get in the Mayo Cup. You know what? I'm doing a giveaway. How about this? Anyone who can screenshot me their entry into the Mayo Cup that they've already bought before New Year's Day, everyone who does it, I'll put them in a draw for another free entry. How about that? I need to get people signing up. It's already like 17% full, which is shocking for this time of year. But I want it to get filled quickly.
I'll be in there. I've not bought my seat yet, but I will certainly be in there. I play every year, and I'm normally eliminated by April, which is always fun.
You can't be eliminated by April is the thing.
If you play bad enough, you can.
If you got zeros all the way through the first 3 months, you could still wind up coming like 10th.
This is what it is. I always think I'm gonna do so well at it. I'm just like, how fucking easy could this be? You just pick winners. Like, dude, just pick winners. And then I'm like, dude, I'm gonna leverage myself. I save all the lib guys for the majors. Everyone knows that. And then you're like, great. I mean, Scotty Scheffler just wins every week. So
Wow, you can only use Scotty Scheffler once.
Dude, so that's when last year. So 2 years ago, I actually did. I was sweating the whole time. I was like live until the end. I think I picked Scotty at the Players. He won the Players 2 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Got all that money, so I'm like sick. Got all this money, like feeling great. But last year, I picked Scotty for like a T8 early, and I was like, great. Well, now I just lose. Now, so I wasted Scotty without a win. Like, what an idiot.
Yeah, it happens. How many entries can we get this year? You can get up to, I think it's a 10 max this year because we upped it by 1,000 entries. So we still want to fill that out. But we're up to 1.2 million guaranteed. And Davis, I don't know about you, but I worked hard on the payout structure for this, like working with fantasygolfchampionships.com in order to make it. How do you feel about the 110 to first? But it's like, I think it's 80 for second. I think it's like 60 for third. I think everyone inside the top 20 wins 5 figures.
I love it. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
better, right? Like I feel like
yeah,
that's better.
yeah, yeah. I think that is pretty strong. I guess like honestly, in a lot of these things, I kind of just like, well, if I don't win, I'm not gonna sweat that much. So more money to first is good for me.
Yeah,
But
but
people like flat payouts.
okay, this is less money to first though. Like if we did it like DK style, it'd be like 450 grand to first.
Yeah. I would say it's much better for the average person who is playing in this to have a flatter payout because it's just more reason to sweat.
Well, it is, and it's also a season-long contest too. Like if it was so top heavy, you'd be right that after April, like no one would ever make a pick again. But I feel like you can come back, especially with so many signature events and majors happening throughout the summer. That it's like, all right, I'm not dead yet. I can get my money back here. I can still win, $2,000 or something.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are 100%. You're 100% correct. Like it's nice to know that you can get good money finishing ninth.
So if you screenshot me, you can send it to Twitter, Instagram, mayomediainc@gmail.com. Anywhere there, you'll get in the draw for a free entry. I'll give that away on New Year's Day. So please go do that. Let's talk about this Arizona game, though. I love this game, and I love the Brissett side of it a lot. Are you Team Burrow here?
No, I'm completely in lockstep with you. I think that I think the ownerships for this game is like in the reverse of what it should be, and that you should be building around Brissett, McBride, and then honestly, I think a lot of the times you should take one of Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson. I would also include Michael Carter in that mix.
I'm not, because I feel like for this to go right, they just abandon running.
So that's what you want Carter in. If you look at what Carter has historically done in the NFL, he's a passing down back. He's a long down distance back. He didn't get any work in the passing game last week because for whatever reason, the Cardinals were winning for most of that game. They did not start trailing by more than one score until the fourth quarter. To unlock the full Jacoby experience, you need garbage time to be there immediately. You can't be sitting around waiting on garbage time. You need 52 dropbacks, and he's going to get that here in a way he did not last week.
Do you want a good Christmas gift for yourself?
I'm always hip, yeah.
David in the chat says, "Hell yeah, Davis is the man. Watching this for sure on my way home." Very rarely do you get positive comments. Listen to that.
Shout out to David, bro. Merry Christmas to you, man.
So, how do we do the other side of this? Just chasing Higgins, chasing Brown, chasing Gesicki? Like, what is it?
I think you just do Jamar Chase because the way the Bengals have played this year, and frankly, it's actually best for this because we probably don't want like 44 dropbacks from the Bengals because that would mean that the Cardinals are in the lead. We want basically Jamar Chase 2 long touchdowns in the first half and then call it good. I don't think you want to do because I don't see this game being like 42-38. I see this game being 38-21, but Jacoby, throws 47 times.
Oh, we have a new person in the chat. They said, do they tell us their favorite lineup or do we just make a bunch? We just make a bunch. That's the move.
It's always good to find a new person, man. Very hard to find a new person watching your content on Friday, December 26th.
Listen, this is why I begged you to come on with me. That I don't think anyone's doing content this week. We might as well do it. I like to go game by game, and then I like to think about it a little bit more. Like what's the best way to structure each of these games with a shell? But you'll find like the pieces that we always end up coming back to fill in all of these game stacks, if that makes sense.
I think about things. I think our process is just a little bit different there. Like I don't necessarily think about it as much on a game level. I tend to work the other way. I tend to work from like who are the absolute nutted plays going to be, um, and then how do I structure lineups around the nutted plays where I'm like not going to be duped.
Okay, well let's do that then. What do you think that the nuts are this week? Who are the guys we have to have in?
I mean, I think Genty probably is up there. I think Chase is probably up there.
Jamar
Um,
Chase.
yeah, Jamar Chase.
Okay,
I
but, like what are the splits with Chase and Higgins both active? It seems like Higgins wildly outperforms him.
I mean, I can look it up.
Not outperforms him, but like per dollar. Like when they're
Uh,
both on the field.
I mean, really, it's just a matter of like the whole thing with Chase. He's such a weird profile for an elite wide receiver because like most of his career has been. You're right that when he and Higgins are on the field together, the target shares are relatively equal. But by and large, the deal with Chase is, well, just he just score a long touchdown or not,
Sure.
right?
There's a guy in the chat who really hates Marvin Harrison Jr. So he wants to play Elijah Higgins instead.
I would not advise. I just me personally, I would not advise that.
Listen, if you don't want to play Marvin Harrison Jr., go for it. I will not be deterred, and I'll accept my 0 again.
All right, I'm trying to pull up the splits for Chase. Jamar Chase split by players that also played. T. Higgins, most recent, we'll go since 2023.
Like I think this Jamar Chase lineup, like we'll keep yours on the go, but the Arizona stack one, I think it's better with Chase Brown and T. Higgins.
Yeah, I have no issue with T. Higgins.
And like we try to filter the touchdowns that way. Hope it's one of those like 10 catches for 100 yards for Chase, but he doesn't find the end zone. And these guys just pile up all the scoring that way and push the game forward.
I will say this from like a salary perspective, our lineup is not going to need like one awful stone punt if we play T. Higgins, so it will probably project a little bit better with T in it.
So what's the crappiest defense you would go to that you feel okay about?
I really do think the Browns are totally fine. I think the Browns are fine. Um, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anyone else down there that makes any sense at all. If I just sort by you, honestly, you could do the Dolphins. Baker just like kind of looks like ass. Um, Eagles, I guess. Raider. I mean, I think you could get away with the Raiders as well.
Yeah, I tried that. They cut with their 0 against the Eagles. Really cost me a ton of money a few weeks ago. I'm still not over it. But yes, I
Well,
understand what you're saying.
So the Eagles are not the type of offense that's really likely to give you fantasy points. I know Hurts had that one crazy awful primetime game, but normally they're like a low sack, low turnover, low volume team. Whereas like
It was just they were $2,000 and that's where I needed to go.
I played a ton of them that week too.
It'd be like using the Jets this week. Like what are they? They don't even get. They still don't have a pick this year.
They still don't have a pick this year. Yeah, that's insane. That's got to be one of the craziest fantasy stats of all time.
Yeah, I guess
That
I'm good with the Browns. I think the Browns will end up becoming one of the chalkiest. They'll probably be the
for
second
sure.
highest owned defense. I would guess
For sure. Yes.
What does the
Yeah.
Steelers offense look like without DK?
A lot of Adam Thielen.
Yeah, a lot of
Adam Thielen, a lot of like Jonnu end arounds. I can't imagine it's going to look all that good.
Can we get Genty into this? We can. And we know wide receiver and a flex for 40.
Why don't we do Barkley instead of Chase Brown on this?
Because we're playing that game. That's why we're using Chase Brown.
I just don't think Chase Brown is Chase Brown like.
I mean, I wish put it this way. I wish I had Chase Brown last week.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to pay $7,400 for a guy who like isn't even a lock to get goal line carries.
I understand the reasoning that you're coming with. That makes a ton of sense to me. We can take out Chase Brown. And I mean, if we take out Chase Brown, is Noah Fant going to be back?
I thought he was on IR. Let's see.
No, he's not. He's questionable to play. I don't think he's practiced yet, though.
Noah Fant, as of 5 hours ago from the Bengals wire, he's got one limited participation practice with the ankle injury.
Because we could throw out Chase Brown in this lineup and just use Gesicki instead, go double tight end with a punt tight end. Hopefully Fant doesn't play and somehow he ends up catching a touchdown and just to take away from the other pieces people are going to use. And then we can use a Barkley in this lineup if you wanted to, or Jonathan Taylor, or whoever.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the most interesting things this year, like the last like month that I've noticed is like every week the top optimal lineups are like always two tight ends.
It's just you have to find that punt is the problem. It's like
Yeah.
McBride and a loser is where you end up getting to.
Yeah. By the way, I have the Chase T split since 2023. 35 games with them both active, 19.48 PPR points per game for Chase, 12 games with T out, 20.9 points per game for Chase. So, or without Higgins. So slightly better without T.
And what does T average in those games? Like when he
I'll
plays
just-
with
I'll just
Chase.
I'll just do that filter in reverse. So I don't know how many games Jamar Chase has missed over that time frame. So T Higgins since 2023, 2 games without Chase, 16.55 fantasy points, 14.62 in the 35 they played together. I can actually widen the split. Let me just go their whole careers.
Here, just to answer a question in the chat, why not Mayer or Taysom Hill instead of Gesicki? I mean, we've already answered this. We've already been through this, so I don't want to answer it again.
61 games they played together, 14.4 fantasy points per game for T Higgins, 21 games with Chase off the field, 14.51. So T is basically the same regardless.
T also more likely to leave the game.
T more likely to just like leave a game for any reason. Yeah. That's just kind of the story of his career.
Yeah, we could punt off another tight end spot here and watch Ian Thomas end up with all the run for the Raiders instead of Michael Mayer and then get back up to a better receiver. We can just afford Jacoby Myers in this lineup to fill it out.
I was going to say Jacoby is close to he might just be my favorite wide receiver play this slate.
Okay, so I'm going to put him back in on your the NUTZ team. We'll throw in Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
So you have Genty, Chase, and Jacoby Myers to fill out the to finish this one. It's Brissett, Barkley, Genty, Harrison, Higgins, Meyer, McBride, Gesicki, just to continue with that game stack, and then the Browns D at $2,500.
It's kind of a hot team.
It's not bad. I mean, we don't have Stevenson in it. Like Stevenson's the guy who's missing from this team.
Which is, of all the chalk to fade, like the guy who has to get a touchdown to get there, that's like the kind of chalk you do want to fade.
Well, Genty also needs a touchdown to get there.
I think Genty could get there on yards and receptions.
Why can't Stevenson do that? Like Jennings he's on IR for them too, isn't it? Isn't it just him in the backfield?
That'll be old friend. You might not remember this guy, Dearness Johnson.
Yeah, he loves catching passes.
Yeah. This game is really big for the Patriots, though, because they are still theoretically live for the 1 seed.
They need the Chargers to win next week.
Yes, but they like absolutely have to win out. Technically they could still lose the division.
If they lose to the Jets or Dolphins next week.
Yes. So I would not anticipate a ton of like mucking around actually from the Patriots. I would expect them to play pretty seriously.
Okay. So let's go back to yours. You got Genty, Chase, and Meyer in this lineup. Where else would you like to go with the NUTZ plays of the week?
I mean, I guess we did just build an Arizona Cincinnati. If we were gonna do the NUTZ and I didn't want to dupe that.
Well, you don't need to think about duping it. You said you wanted to work the other way out. So you're like Brissett.
You know what? Let's do a Shuck Olave on this.
Okay, Shuck Olave, save some money.
Yeah, because we could do Shuck Olave and we could maybe play.
Well, this also works with Taysom Hill, by the way. Now,
I'm game. I'm game to play Taysom on this one.
Yeah, this is the type of lineup to play Taysom Hill in, right?
Yeah. Now, put Put Jonathan Taylor and Barkley in there and see what we have left on defense. I can't do the math in my head to know if we probably don't have the money for. Yeah, we don't have the money for it.
We don't. Like you would have to basically this if you wanted to play Jonathan Taylor here, I think it's Stevenson and a really crappy D. No,
Yeah.
Stevenson doesn't even fit.
All right. So go down.
You could play. You know who you could play? Dylan Sampson and the Browns D.
Yeah, we could also if we wanted
Nope,
to
you
fade
can't even do
Arizona,
that. That's too much money.
if we wanted to fade Arizona Cincinnati entirely, we could actually go Michael Carter here and just say that game kind of sucks. Chase gets his numbers, but Burrow doesn't get there. Michael Carter catches like 9 dump offs, and McBride doesn't get there.
Yeah, I just feel like there's better. I feel like you're wasting. You're trying to tell yourself that you're just hoping that this lineup can beat the other lineup. I don't love playing like, oh, Michael Carter might grease his way to a few points here, playing catch up against the bank. It's not the craziest idea. I just think there are better plays at that price range at running back. If this is the NUTZ lineup, like Gainwell is objectively a better play in my mind. So was Sampson. So was Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy, actually, honestly, Tracy in a non-Gene T lineup is probably like really, really good leverage.
Well, this is a Genty lineup though.
Yeah.
But you just talked about their pass rate over expectation being the lowest of all time, basically. Like, why
It's like
can't
actually
Genty and
insane.
Tracy both get there? Like, what if it's just they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just run the ball.
Yeah, they had that drive last week with 15 rush attempts, like just like some insane stuff.
Who are these guys in the middle regions here? Like, there's no one really in the 6,000s, which makes it tough.
Yeah, I mean Trevion if he plays actually is sort of interesting.
But then, okay, what happens with that then? Let's say they call Henderson active. All these teams are probably pre-built with Stevenson. Now what do we do?
I would assume what would happen if Stevenson or if Henderson plays is that there's going to end up being a lot of ownership transferred to Travis Etienne, and then you're going to see a lot less ownership on Chase JSN, more ownership on Jacoby Myers, more ownership on Chris Olave, more ownership on T, more ownership on Mike Evans, because you'll just get less lineups with an 8K wide receiver in it.
How do we get there? You could go Jonathan Taylor Jets D.
Imagine the Jets D save it all for this final week and they intercept Drake May 3 times.
You could go Trey McBride and like the Dolphins D.
I like Trey McBride. Trey McBride in the flex is actually no one's doing that.
Yeah, Dolphins D or Cardinals D, I guess.
Dude, Dolphins D could do it because Baker has been playing like certified ass.
Should we find is there any Titan you would want to play?
I guess you could do Chimere DK. I mean,
like, could we take Tyrone Tracy out of this and just do Pollard?
Pollard?
Pollard fits perfectly with this line.
Yeah, Pollard's been scoring 20 fantasy points a game. I guess
it's wild considering how terrible he was for 12 weeks.
Yeah, I mean I guess they've got consecutive matchups where they weren't getting blown out in a row. So maybe yeah, you could Pollard's probably fine.
If the thing is, we could try to figure out a way to get Jonathan Taylor into this lineup. Like instead of McBride, we could use Jonathan Taylor.
I'm fine with that. I think Jonathan Taylor and Barkley are 2 guys I'm going to be pretty into this week.
So we can use Taylor. We need to find $300 somewhere. I just don't know where we find that is the problem.
We could go from Jacoby to Pittman. You
said you hated Pittman. If we're not, and why would we sub out? Well, why would we put in Jonathan Taylor only to get rid of a Jag to play with another Colt?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. I mean, we could. What's the absolute stone cheapest defense?
It's the Jets, and that still doesn't do it for it. That only frees up.
We could do Jets and Michael Mayer.
I mean, we could just Let's see, you could do the Panthers.
Sure.
Or we could go Michael Mayer and do it.
We could go if we wanted to really do that. We could go from Jonathan Taylor down to ETN.
And do what?
Play a better defense in Taysom.
I mean, I'd rather play Jonathan Taylor with the Panthers defense than play a slightly better defense with Taysom Hill, if that's the difference.
Yeah, no, I mean this team, dude. If you told me that old Sammy D pumpkins up here in this game, this team is pretty fire.
The Panthers are just a silly team. Who knows what they're going to do? Like,
Yeah,
even
Panthers
though
can
if you
beat
caught them in
anyone
that
or
right
lose
week
to
against the
anyone.
Rams at home, it's like, oh, good. They scored 23 DraftKings points.
Yeah,
I feel like Darnold's far more likely to give it to you than Stafford, and Stafford was just giving them the ball.
you're so right about that. Honestly, maybe I just sold myself on Panthers as being the puntee. They're at home. Darnold will just turn the ball over. They won some game by 20 where he turned the ball over 4 times. Like that's just what he does.
No, they lost that game to the Rams.
No,
They
but
lost
they
it
won.
because they missed the field goal at the end to win the game.
Oh, okay, that's right. I'm trying to look in his game log. There was yes, okay, you're right. That game against the Rams with the 4 picks, but they were kind of winning the whole time. He has what? I mean, he fumbled against the Colts. He fumbled twice. He fumbled twice in a win, a 26-0 win against the Vikings. Yeah, I sold myself on this fully.
Perfect. So there we go. How about Mac Hollins? Like, Mac Hollins is someone we haven't talked about. Like, you've brought him
Yeah,
up once or twice.
that's
Like,
the one that I am looking at the projections, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not getting sold this bag of goods.
okay, so you're just you don't want to believe what the numbers tell you.
Yeah, it's just like his last touchdown was in September. He's got one 100-yard game. It's just like I don't know what. I guess he could score a long touchdown. He is playing a ton of snaps, but I am not a believer.
So the best values projected on the slate, it's Jamar Chase by far, and then it's
Yeah,
Mac Hollins number 2. And the only other below $5,000 receivers you're gonna find, AD Mitchell at $4,500 is 7th. Trey Tucker at $3,800 is like 13th, and then you don't get another decent one until Darius Slayton down there. Like, loading up the passing side of that stupid game might be the move.
yeah. You play Trey Tucker and Slayton, and you just get like an all-time run out. You got Shaheed at 4,300. You got Parker Washington at 48. DK
I see. That's the one
41.
that I'm just not believing. That was such a matchup dependent type thing with Parker Washington last week.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think he's probably a little bit over projected this week.
Coker's another one that you could probably get to, but let's try that one. The chat is just telling me things I already know. So thanks, man. I know Booty isn't practicing. This you can ask some questions. Like
That's why Matt Collins.
that's why Mac Hollins is
so well.
projecting as the second best value. Thanks. Didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Let's do Giants Raiders. That game's hilarious.
it is. It is hilarious. So if you did Geno, Tucker, Genty, Mayer,
Do
could
you
you
need
get
to
in?
go that much?
Well, what I was wondering is, could you get literally all the top projected plays if you did that?
So Geno, Tucker, Mayer. Let's just do that. Let's leave Genty out of it for the moment.
Okay.
Because if we're gonna win, like, if Genty dominates on the ground, this lineup scores 0 points.
Well, he did have the nice 50-yard touchdown reception last week.
That's true, but those are few and far between. And then what do we do? Wandale? Do we do Slayton? Is Slayton the better option here?
Slayton's probably the better option for like it just randomly speeds the game up. Like he just like randomly scores a 42-yard touchdown like out of nothing.
Okay, so and let's even throw Brown's D in here just to see what we got cooking.
Oh yeah, dude, we can play Chase. We can play Chase.
Can we play?
Barkley.
Can we get to JSN?
Yeah, yeah, we could do JSN in the flex, and then you could still do Barkley Taylor.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's the lineup for you. And we can even
And then
bring
we could
Brown's
pay.
D up.
I was gonna say we could pay.
Oh, we can play Bucks D against Quinn Ewers. Perfect.
Yeah. That's honestly like this is the type of stuff that I notice like really good DFS players show up with way more than the field. Like guys like Utica and like
John did it. Like, John came second. I mean, John's not here this week. He'll be back next week because he bailed on both of our shows because he's too busy counting his money. He won the big $5. He came second in the Millie Maker last week with a like Genty and Shuck team or something.
Do you know how were you watching to see how disgusting that beat was?
No. I can assure you I was prepping for my live show.
So the final play of the game was a check down from Bo Nix to Tyler Beatty, and if RJ Harvey had been in the game and not Tyler Beatty, John would have won.
Oh, that is brutal.
It was pretty, like, I was like sweating for him, and I was like, that is about as disgusting as it gets.
I say, can we flip this to Dart? But we really can't do that because Dart's.
I wouldn't even want to. I would like Jackson Dart. Like the Giants are like not interested in scoring fantasy points.
It is true. Even when Dart threw some passes on the money last week, like Slayton had one of the worst drops I've seen all year.
Yeah,
and
Theo Slayton,
the pick that he threw just went through Theo Johnson's hands and hit him in the chest.
the fantasy football community has like got to be done with their obsession with Darius Slayton. He is buns.
He got that big contract, so he's doing well in life.
Good, good for him, man. But I just like the same thing as like people were obsessed with De'Ami Brown this last offseason because he got paid. Like at the end of the day, you cannot pay guys to be good.
I tried using. I actually had a big. It was I forget which week it was. I think it was the first week that Brian Thomas went out. Fortunately, De'Ami Brown got there on like the first drive. Then it was just concussion. De'Ami Brown, he's out.
Yeah, well, rip. Sad for him.
Jags and Colts is really the only other game on this slate. Like the Cardinals Bengals is going to be the most, if you can try to figure out how to do that like we just did and get Genty, and if there's no Henderson, get Stevenson. And if Henderson comes back, it's not going to be Stevenson. It's the only game projected for over 50 on the main slate. The next closest one is Jags Colts. The optimizer spit that out for us. Like how does that even look? Like, is there a Rivers version of this we can use?
No, I think you just want to stick to what has worked. Like the Jaguars have actually crushed. By the way, this is like pretty big for DFS. As of 11 minutes ago, Trevion Henderson is at Friday's in stadium practice, not in the no contact jersey.
All right,
and Matt Collins, who we were just talking about, is not at practice with an abdominal injury.
Jesus, so that does shift everything.
Yeah. It would make, I guess, like, what would that mean? Demario Douglas or Kyle
No, Demario
Williams?
Douglas pulled his hamstring last week. I don't think he's playing.
So it would be Kyle Williams then as your punt, and then Stevenson kind of out of the equation.
So let's just work under that. Let's say Matt Collins. I mean, we don't know how serious. So it sounds like Stevenson's going to be in a split. It sounds like Henderson's probably going to be back. And this Matt Collins thing, we don't know. Booty's probably out. Douglas is probably out. Can we use Diggs?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the Diggs usage has been confusing to me this year. Like sometimes they'll treat him like a wide receiver one, and then sometimes they won't. But yeah, certainly he is playable.
Can we go May, Diggs, Henry?
May, Diggs. See, I never really liked playing Hunter Henry, but yeah, sure, you can.
I mean, we could put in Kyle Williams and see what happens then. He's only $3,300.
I like Kyle Williams. If this so if Matt Collins and Booty and Douglas are all out, Kyle Williams becomes like really intriguing to me.
Is there any jet you would consider? Because I know the projection showed AD Mitchell like as a reasonable
I was going to say, yeah, AD Mitchell is like, sure, whatever.
You don't want to play smart with 2 Ts after his like 8 catches in a row in garbage time last week?
I don't want to play Stone Smart. I don't want to play Mechie, and I don't really want to play Brees either.
So you like, I've been throwing Taylor in these lineups, but let's throw in Barkley because you love Barkley.
Of all the it's actually funny. I hate Saquon Barkley, but I do think he's a good play this week.
So Barkley, Genty.
Yeah, this by the way, this is the kind of lineup you can just play Stone Chalk with this. This is so far off the reservation. Like you could put Drake May, Kyle Williams, Adonai Mitchell, Diggs, click the little lock button and click run optimizer and just play that, and it'd be like a good lineup.
Let's see if I can do that. Let's see here.
It's probably, well, it's still going to be showing Ramondre for you, I would, so exclude Ramondre.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
And it'll probably give you, I bet it'll give you Chase in the flex and Mayer at tight end would be my guess.
Or no, it seems to be spitting out Taysom Hill. But you know what? You don't even really, I mean,
you don't even really need it.
You may as well just play Hunter Henry as a part of this lineup. Like,
yeah. I think in this permutation of things, it's fine. I would probably, What if we change Diggs to one of the Jacksonville Jaguars guys?
We go with like Jacoby.
Yeah, if we do Jacoby Henry, what does that give us? Oh, we're gonna be able to play Seahawks D.
No,
Just short.
wrong. We can play Saints D. That's fine.
If we put in, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is 100 less, or is he 100 more than Jacoby?
I mean, he doesn't do anything, so that's tough.
He doesn't. He never scores any points, but he was a first round pick in fantasy football.
That's great. There's other guys who score equal amounts of points. I don't think they've played in 12 weeks.
Yeah. It's I don't really know what to make of the Brian Thomas Jr. thing. It's like one of the weirdest things I can remember.
I see. I would want to. I mean, the other way you could do this too is find someone else at that Jacoby Myers price, and then play Jags D. It's just Rivers doesn't take any sacks.
He does not take any sacks, but when he does, they look really funny.
Well, I think he's only been sacked once in 2 games, hasn't he?
Depends on how you count, because he had a fumble where he just like sat on top of it last week.
The Eagles D could be a play here too. Now that Jalen Carter's back, if they can just shut down James Cook, I don't know what the Bills do.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's like the Bills are like the most annoying team to stack in fantasy football because they have 19 guys who run routes and none of them score any points.
You don't stack them. You just play Josh Allen.
You just play
Or
Josh
you just
Allen.
play James Cook, one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, that game, honestly, that game probably does end up being disappointing. Just like two teams that are playing way too tight.
That game screams under.
That game screams under. Yeah. And that was, I mean, this is real virgin stuff, but I've obviously been thinking about this game for like 6 months because of best ball stuff. And the whole time I was like, man, that game is going to just be outdoors. It's going to be cold. It's going to be shitty. It's just going to be James Cook and Barkley just trading like 4-yard runs.
Yeah, Barkley, I just don't. I know that he's been like had the uptick lately, and I know the Bills.
He's so bad. I mean, this is like he is like if he was on any other team in the NFL, he would have been. They would have started to work in Bigsby. It's like the worst. His efficiency per play is worse than his worst year on the Giants.
Is that just? I don't want to say it's the curse of like what do you have? What did he end up with last year in terms of total touches? Like 450 through the Super Bowl.
More, I think 484, I believe, is the
That's
number.
A lot of touches.
People are saying
that's like the average Christian McCaffrey game.
Yeah, it is. People are saying it like the offensive line is banged up, but I don't know. I mean, it's also a hard job.
Yeah, well, they lost Kelsey in the offseason. Lane Johnson's been hurt all year. Like that makes sense. And Hurts has taken a step back. He hasn't been as good this year as last year.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are blaming it on the offensive coordinator and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it.
Well, there's a lot of factors at play, I think, and trying to pinpoint what it is probably not useful. It's just a mix of everything.
Yeah, it's a huge conglomeration of things.
Let's see. This guy says that Kyle Williams only catches TDs. Well, that sounds like a good thing.
That sounds sick.
But it's also going to be terrible when Mac Hollins and Henderson are both in, and we're like, oh, great, terrible lineup.
Yeah, well, you can issue the global slop alert.
Yeah, screw it. I'm playing it in the $5 anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you want to build a better version of that Jags lineup, or do you want to try to use like Miami, like use Achane and Baker on the other side?
Yeah, I will not be doing any of that. I mean, the Dolphins, like they are. I know Tua sucks, but like Quinn Ewers is like a significant factor worse. He's a tough watch.
Like we kind of did the Saints and Titans. Just trying to find like what games are projected for any points here. Is there a Panthers Seahawks that we can get to, like a Darnold JSN?
I just honestly prefer to play JSN like on his own. Like I think maybe something you could do is play a Shuck lineup, like Shuck Olave with JSN, and just use JSN as like the solo piece. And you could do like a correlation with Tet, but it's hard for me to see the quarterbacks putting up GPP winning scores.
Yeah, because the defense probably ends up getting involved at some point too. It's just bad games on this slate. Maybe the Riverside is the way to try this out.
You could do, I mean, all the individual Colts guys project good, so you could do like a Rivers double with 2 Jaguars and just say like, I don't know, maybe we get overtime or something in this game.
Yeah, like River. I mean, there doesn't need to be overtime. There needs to be a lot of like none of these games project for any points. If it just gets to 55, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah,
And just
I
hope
guess that's true.
it's not like Jonathan Taylor's been lighting the world up on the ground and scoring touchdowns since Rivers came back.
Yeah, he's been awful. He just is like not ripped off any of the long runs. He has been more involved in the passing game, which I guess you'd expect with Rivers liking to check it down. And the Seahawks matchup was tough.
This matchup isn't hard. Like it's not easy. Sorry, the Jags D is pretty. The Jags D isn't the Niners D. Put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The well, I mean, the Niners D has good players, but they're all injured.
Well, so they don't have good players.
Yeah, theoretically. Theoretically, they have good players.
Okay. Trying to think now. Did you see what I put out yesterday? Cuss new outrageous claim.
That he wouldn't be the slowest player or slowest person if everyone in the NFL ran a 40.
Correct. Which the slowest recorded 40 time at the combine is, I believe, 6.17. And I ran the 40 against Cuss 10 years ago at the Super Bowl when he ran a 7.12.
So the question would be, who's faster, Phillip Rivers or Cust?
It's got to be Phillip Rivers. Like they're not. Although Phillip Rivers is an old man, and yes, he is older than Cuss, he's not markedly older than Cuss, and he's a professional athlete.
Yeah, he looks real fat, though.
Do you think Cuss is like Slim Daddy over here?
I don't know. Cust isn't a granddad. Phillip Rivers is literally a granddad.
I mean, but per age, I could be my grandfather is the same age as me now when I was born.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Time makes fools of us all. I'm trying to think if there's another like obviously slow. There's like Calais Campbell's like a 41-year-old defensive lineman. Maybe
if he blocked a field goal last week.
Calais Campbell did.
Yeah,
I honestly did not know that.
He became the oldest. They didn't even have a stat on it. It was either an extra point or a field goal. He became the oldest player ever to block a kick in the NFL since the year 2000 because they just didn't have stats before that about it.
That's actually wild to have a stat invented for you because you're so old.
But I would take defensive linemen same weight as Cust in the NFL over Cust.
Oh, well, I mean, certainly, yeah. He's still working out. He's still exercising. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Cuss probably at this stage runs like an 8 flat 40.
I mean, he might be right around where he was at that time. Who knows?
I would guess. I like if you let me bet this at like -110, the field versus Cuss. I would take the field being faster.
I would take the field as well. Who if we play Rivers and Pierce, who's the other Colt we want to play?
Tyler Warren, right? Just to take up the tight end slot because it's harder to fill.
It is. Wait, how much is Strange? Strange is cheaper. We could go like Downs and Strange and load it up all that way, then play the chalk everywhere else. Maybe we don't need to.
Yes, I think that works for me. Strange is like actually like very involved in the Jaguars offense.
So we could use or we could just use Downs, use Pearson Downs. If we want to use JSN, we can flex him. You can use Genty. And so like Genty being the overwhelming chalk, I feel like ends so poorly.
Yeah, I mean he's just really good though. So like the spots that I have that are harder here would be like if Genty was like a bad player, but everything else lined up for him. Those are chalk spots where I feel a little bit more like honestly like Ramondre. Like Ramondre is like massive chalk in this spot against the Jets feels way more fraught to me because you always have the out when the guy is really good that he could do the thing that he did last week, right? Where he just like out of nowhere gets 31 points against the best defense in the NFL. Whereas like Ramondre, even with Henderson out, even in a good matchup, he still needs things to fall his way. Whereas like that is just when things fall Genty's way, you feel much better that he's gonna knock the pins down.
So here's what I ended up doing. I didn't use Strange. I used Rivers with Downs and Pierce, Jacoby Myers, and ETN. Just a 5-man game stack from that game. Instead of using Genty, I used Tracy from the other side, and then JSN and McBride.
I mean, this is a pretty good team. I mean,
here's the thing: like, if I'm going to play McBride, I suppose I should just play Chase, right?
Yeah, feels like a better correlation there. You can also get to like a less chalky defense too if you want.
Yeah, you could go. Well, in this, you can just go back to Genty and then go down to Panthers that we talked about earlier. That's probably better.
Yeah, I do. I've fully, in the course of the show, I've fully talked myself into the Panthers defense as the punt defense.
The Browns are a better play, I think. Well, it just, I don't know how it works out because Gainwell might end up being a really good play against the Browns D. They bring a ton of pressure. Who's going to catch passes? It's going to be Gainwell. There's no DK Metcalf, and he's been doing it anyway.
Yeah,
and he doesn't run necessarily insignificant routes every single time. Like the one he caught the touchdown on last week was a fucking wheel route down the field.
I mean, it was a total accident that he scored.
It was, but it was still a target to him 40 yards down the field.
Yeah,
most running backs don't get that.
What I don't know is just how do you factor in this game not mattering at all? Like, I really don't know how you factor that in.
I don't think you do in week 17. The only thing that I was worried about from that game was if the Ravens had won last week and this game really didn't mean anything.
Yes.
Because then they would have rested both teams would have rested all their guys for their games and then played in week 18. But even with Rodgers being an elder statesman and some of those guys being old, I think you let them go out there and run it this week and then just rest them all next week. But you want to give them 2 weeks off.
Yeah, you don't want to give them 2 weeks off. I just don't know how much you press the "we want to score points" button. Like it's just hard. I guess Tomlin's kind of a hardo, so they probably just run the game as normal.
I suppose. All right.
And I mean, look, who knows? Maybe the Ravens shock the world on Saturday night anyway.
Well, we saw Minnesota do it on Christmas Day.
We did. LaFleur just he loves to call plays for Malik Willis.
Well, when they have the week to design plays for Malik, is Love just not playing? I thought Love was going to pass concussion protocol.
I thought I saw this morning that he's already ruled out. Jordan Love.
You find that out because
they're both listed as doubtful. Love and Willis are both listed as doubtful.
So Clayton Tune is playing quarterback for them?
I mean, I would say it's not I'd say it's non-zero.
Well, if they're both, doubtful usually means not playing.
Sorry, not doubtful, questionable.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
It's Lamar who's listed as doubtful, which means he's not playing.
So we're getting Snoop Huntley. Yikes. I'm glad we didn't break down the 2-game slate.
That's one that's, I play pretty much every slate, and I might give that one a pass.
I'm very curious to watch this Chargers-Texans game. I think the Chargers win.
Chargers are so bad.
They're not. They're actually quite good. They just have no offensive line. But here's the thing. The Texans also don't have an offensive line, and they're actually bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm such a I couldn't be less of a Justin Herbert. I don't enjoy the Justin Herbert online discourse.
Have you watched him this year?
Yeah, it's just like, and then people be like, "Oh, Justin Herbert for MVP. Justin Herbert's the best." It's like, I don't know, maybe win a playoff game, bro.
Has anyone said Justin Herbert should be the MVP? Has anyone said that he's the best, or is this like a straw man that you like to fight with on the internet?
No, Ben Solak and Dan Orlovsky, the two ESPN guys, that this has been like their pet thing for like 2 or 3 weeks now.
That they've said that Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the league.
That he should be either first or second in MVP.
There's I don't think so, but he's probably fourth.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably fourth seems fair. I don't know.
Stafford, May, Allen, then pick your poison.
Yeah. I don't know. I just hate the Chargers.
How bad would the Bills be without Josh Allen?
They would be real bad because not only is their roster not that good, their coaches are also idiots. So like the combination of like a middling roster and coaches who like don't know the sun from the ground is a tough thing to overcome.
The chat just says, Pat defending Justin Herbert. What a world. I don't think Justin Herbert's bad.
He's fine.
It's funny because people give me like so much shit for like hating on Darnold all the time. It's not that I hate Darnold. It's just the two people I do a show with seem to think he's the best quarterback in football. He's not.
Yeah. Darnold, I'll be happy to bet against Sam Darnold in the postseason, and I will also be probably happy to bet against the Chargers in the postseason.
I think the difference between the Chargers now and maybe this changes is that their defense is really good. Their defense, since they got healthy over the past 4 weeks, has been awesome. They're not at the Texans level, but out of all the AFC teams, they probably have the second best defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, the freaking Eagles should have won that.
They
that
didn't.
game.
The Eagles
didn't.
just beat two terrible teams back to back after losing to middling to slightly above average teams for 3 straight weeks.
Yeah. 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 I mean, the Eagles, something is rotten in Philadelphia too. I don't know. Feels like an all-time year for like literally anyone could win the Super Bowl because every team has like some kind of fatal flaw.
Well, we had that discussion this week, and I even tried to make the case that Pittsburgh could somehow find themselves in the Super Bowl just through voodoo magic.
Pittsburgh? I don't know. Pittsburgh is tough.
Pittsburgh is, I agree with you. It's tough to get them there, but I just don't think anyone in the AFC is that good. Like they're the worst. They'll be the worst playoff team in the AFC, but it's not like such a gap they couldn't win games. Like they're not Carolina in the NFC.
Yeah. No, I mean, and yeah, I guess the thing is like, could the Steelers beat the Patriots? Sure. Could the Steelers beat the Broncos? Sure. Could the Steelers beat? Yeah. Like, on a neutral field, would any of the AFC postseason teams be favored by more than a touchdown against any of the other AFC teams? No.
No, and that's the whole thing. So if that's the case, I mean, we just saw Brosmer beat Detroit yesterday, and that was what, a 7-point game.
Yeah, I mean, just my interest in who wins the Super Bowl is literally at an all-time low. If playoff baseball and
listen
Underdog,
to you. Oh, my poor Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. Now I don't care who wins. You're such a
I don't care. Like it just is not interesting to me.
You know, someone says Carolina's beat all the top teams in the NFC, though. It doesn't matter. They're not good.
Yeah, they're not good. Yeah, like I think every serious person can be like, okay, sure, good for them. Like give them a pat on the back.
Like the best thing that could happen to the NFC playoffs is them getting in and beating the Rams again at home in that stupid 4-5 game in Carolina, because it just opens everything up.
Yeah,
the Rams are clearly the best team in the league, and the Seahawks are just behind them. But even in that Thursday night game, the Rams smoked them and somehow lost.
The Rams smoked them. Sam Darnold looked like the worst quarterback in the NFL in the third quarter, and then just like out of nowhere, they're like, "Oh shit, the Seahawks are gonna win."
Yeah, punt return touchdown, 3 2-point conversions, like everything that had to happen happened. It just doesn't happen twice.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Bears just riding like all these all-time like lucky like fourth quarter, and I like Caleb Williams, and I'm happy that he's found success, but like the Bears are getting insanely lucky.
Oh, for sure. Like that there's the fun first round or the second round matchup if it somehow comes to fruition. Bears Panthers.
Oh, God, awful postseason game.
It'd be fun though.
Bryce Young and Caleb Williams, just like who can throw the worst interception.
I mean, Caleb Williams doesn't throw that many interceptions.
No, but when he does throw them, they're like very ill. Like the one at the back of the end zone to Komet. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Just take the first down. Come on.
You see this happen with guys with amazing arms who can make any pass. Is that they literally think they can make any pass?
Yeah, and I mean the issue there was he thought for like half a second about running. And that not even half a second, probably a quarter of a second he thought about running, and that was all the time it took for the safety to make up the ground.
I posed this question to Jeff and Tim, and they just said no. But I think the Broncos would be like a legitimate, like high rung like the Rams team if they had Caleb Williams and not.
Oh yes, Bo Nix is bad.
You're talking hyperboles here a lot. Like Bo Nix isn't bad; he's fine. He's a fine quarterback. He is a starting quarterback in the NFL. There's like 10 guys worse than him who start.
I'm trying to, that's what I was. So I want to pull up. I want to pull up a sheet here real quick and see like where I would. Caleb Williams is definitely better than him. Okay, Stroud, you take over him. Bo Nix or Goff
to win a Super Bowl? I guess if Goff was on the Broncos, then maybe Goff. But I'm not convinced CJ Stroud can't complete an 8-yard pass.
I mean, I'm not a huge CJ Stroud guy either. You'd take Dak. Would you take? Oh, here's a good one. Mac Jones.
I'd take Nix. Nix is. I mean,
he's
actually, I was gonna say Bo Nix is a lot younger. Is he even younger than Mac Jones? How old is Mac Jones now?
Well, Bo Nix was really old for.
I know
prospect.
I caught, and Mac Jones was young. Mac Jones is only 27.
Yeah, they're 18 months apart. Bo
Listen,
Nix and
I
Mac Jones.
no, there's they're 18 months apart. I would take Nix. He's younger, and I mean Mac Jones has only ever looked good with Kyle Shanahan coaching him up.
Okay, you take him over all the dregs like McCarthy, Ward,
Yeah,
Fields, Geno, Shuck. Here's an interesting one. Jaden Daniels this year in the National Football League is 27th of 33 qualifying quarterbacks in EPA per play.
I'd take Jaden Daniels.
I take Jaden Daniels, but I think he might have been anointed to honestly where Nix is in EPA per play feels about right to me. 17th in the NFL. That feels about right.
Yeah, that means he's not bad. He's fine.
He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
He's
I would take Caleb Williams over him though.
I say that was my whole point. That I think they would just go to a different level. But Bo Nix might be like the bottom of the barrel of quarterbacks you could win a Super Bowl with, but I think you could win a Super Bowl with Bo Nix.
You could win a Super Bowl this season with Bo Nix.
Well, you know what? If you can win it this season, then good. That means they can win one.
Well, I think this will be kind of an all-time anomalous year because I'm expecting next year for the Bills to actually have wide receivers.
Why would
for
the Bills have wide receivers? Where are they getting these wide receivers next year?
I just assume that they'll trade their first-round pick for somebody.
Who?
T. Higgins.
Okay, put T. Higgins, the concussion man, on Buffalo. I don't think it's doing you any good.
Oh, they're a lot better.
It's an upgrade, but he plays half the games. And what does T. Higgins look like as the one? Because we see this all the time.
Probably a lot better than fucking Khalil Shakir.
Sure, but now do you then cut, like, what do you do with Shakir then? You just cut him to get rid of that money? You cut Josh Palmer to get rid of the money? Like, how much of these guys?
You definitely cut Palmer, you cut Curtis Samuel, they already cut Elijah Moore, you cut all these idiots, you don't give Dalton Kincaid a contract extension, and you just reconfigure the offense for guys who suit Josh Allen.
I just don't know even if they cut them, like if the dead cap ends up becoming too much for Buffalo, they just have no room to maneuver here.
Well, a lot of these guys, so like Josh Palmer's deal, they can get out of really cheap. They have to keep Shakir. Shakir can't go anywhere, but like he's a fine slot wide receiver. You just need. I assume the Chiefs will also not be giga ass next year. Maybe that's wrong. And then I assume that John Harbaugh will be fired, and the Ravens will actually want to play football next year. So I think the AFC is going to look a lot different.
See, the best thing the Bills could do if John Harbaugh gets fired or Stefanski gets fired, fire your coach and hire one of those guys.
Coach. Well, the whole issue has become with the Ravens is that Lamar and Harbaugh hate each other, and you just can't. I mean, it's just very hard to build winning football when your head coach and your quarterback don't like each other.
Well, Lamar might want out. Do you think that there is a chance Lamar moves?
I would say just me personally, if I was in the front office and it was like the head coach and the quarterback don't like each other, you take the quarterback. I think that seems pretty straightforward to me, but maybe they won't. Maybe they will say, we're the Ravens. We're a proud organization. We don't kowtow to anyone. You got to get with the program or you get out. Lamar, we're trading you to the Raiders.
Oh, someone says Purdy or Knicks. I don't think that's close.
Oh, dude, Purdy is good. I was a Purdy hater, so I was very similar to like just like I'd love to hate on Herbert, but I was a Purdy hater. I'm totally sold on Purdy. He's just good.
Now, if you put Bo Nix in San Francisco, maybe he looks a lot better like Brock Purdy too. Like, it's hard to tell when Shanahan runs your offense. He just kind of makes guys look good.
Yes. I mean, like, dude, he coached Jimmy Garoppolo to 2 Super Bowls. So like, yeah, he obviously is, Shanahan's a wizard.
So if we think about Purdy outside, and you can't do it because you've never seen him outside the context of Kyle Shanahan. If he was just on Denver, would they be better? I would say yes.
Purdy? Oh yeah. Purdy is kind of like very like he's a great Peyton quarterback, super accurate, makes like Purdy is just always making the right decision. Yeah, I think because the thing with Nix is that he's late. Like when you see Nix make a poor play, it's generally because he read something half a second late or made the throw a half second late, and like that is just it's a hard thing for an offense to deal with.
Someone just called Bo Nix the running Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins in the right situation probably could have won a Super Bowl.
I agree, but I think that's actually a pretty good comp.
I like that. Yeah, we're like Kirk Cousins was never a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and segments of the fan base hated him. But like, you just also at the same time, like, he just won a bunch of games. You got to hand it to him.
Yeah. Last one. Let's see. Bills have adopted the Josh Save Us method. I like to call it the pass it to Will offense. The Bel Air Academy offense is just what the Bills do. It's like, oh, we're down, and Josh, go do something.
Yeah, which is funny because in a way that makes them a worse playoff team because they only adopt that once they get in the hole. You see that like against the Patriots, I was joking with Pat Kerrane. I was like, the Patriots, huge mistake. They got up by too much too quickly. They needed to slow roll it so that the Patriots were, or so that the Bills were still doing their hand it to James Cook, 6 offensive linemen, screen pass to Shakir offense. Because once they go into the 10 personnel, get the tight ends off the field, let Josh do stuff, then they are like unstoppable. So you can't let them get to that point of the game.
You think at some point they would just start the game doing that?
You would think, but Joe Brady, of all coaches who have like won games and like get consideration by head coaches, I could not have a lower opinion of Joe Brady. He is terrible.
Who do you think is the hot, like we talked about Jesse Minter being like the hottest candidate now for next season? Who are the other guys on that list?
Kubiak will get all the interviews.
So Kubiak, Minter. Do you think like the retreads will do anything? Do you think the Browns fire Stefanski?
I don't think the Browns fire Stefanski. I do think, and I'm hoping that the Tennessee Titans hire Matt Nagy. That's my number one wish list of the offseason, is that Matt Nagy finds himself gainfully employed as a head coach for another team.
So
that would just be
not on the Chiefs.
Yeah, Merry fucking Christmas, man. Dude, and everyone has their own theory for why the Chiefs are bad now. A lot of it actually just has to do with like Brett Veach just like whiffing on every draft for the last 3 years.
I mean, this is no different to when the Patriots went into their slide in like the early 2010s and they just drafted all these guys who sucked.
Yeah, if you just draft guys who suck, it's hard to overcome that. They also signed a corner to big money who they never played until a bunch of guys got hurt. So they're wasting a bunch of money on a reserve defensive back. And their first signing of the offseason was Elijah Mitchell for the same money as Rico Dowdle. And Elijah Mitchell never played and then got cut. He got cut last week.
I know you have to spend the money somewhere. However, I can't think of there's obviously outliers to this. The big money receiver, the big money cornerback who's just like, oh yeah, like you were awesome with this team for the past 3 years. Come on our team. And it's not the same. Like Revis is really the only one I can remember who turned out to be just as awesome.
I mean, cornerback is such a funny position too, because so much of it is, you're doing a good job when the broadcast is not talking about you. So like once you become a story, but I agree with you that like the expensive corner, and a lot of the times, or remember this happened with Asamoah, where the Jets signed him, right? Or is it the Jets?
Eagles signed him.
The Eagles signed him. They changed, and I don't remember if they changed him from a man to a zone or a zone to a man, but he basically became useless at that stage. So like changing scheme for corners can be hard too.
Yeah, if you're going to allocate your money, like big time money resources, like sign your guys that work in, like that's another part of it too. Like a corner in one scheme might, like as you just pointed out, might not be the same corner in a different scheme that you choose to play. So re-signing your own guys who already work well in that scheme, as long as you evaluate them properly, work out better. Same as receivers in that sense. And just spend all your money on quarterbacks, offensive linemen, and defensive linemen. Pay those guys a bunch of money.
No one cares about this. This is just cheap sports talk radio, but that's been a thing that people have cared about or been mad about in Kansas City, is that it appears that Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, and Brett Veach, the GM, don't necessarily agree on what constitutes a good defensive back or a good lineman. So that last year they traded for Josh Uche. Spags never played him. This year they signed, I literally do not remember the name of the corner. This is not really my job, but they signed some corner that they never played, and fans are mad that they signed this corner that Spags refuses to play. Spags just likes his guys. Like Spags just wants to have the same guy he was coaching 10 years ago because he knows what he wants them to do.
Yeah, and so someone in the chat just says why it was idiotic for the Colts to trade away 2 firsts for Sauce. Like, I get the idea behind it. I kind of agree.
So at first I was like, this is the dumbest thing imaginable for them to do. And then I came all the way around to the Chiefs missed the postseason, the Bills roster sucked, the Ravens are gonna miss the postseason. You're probably never gonna have a better chance in terms of like going for it this year. And if the front office decided like this is the best blue chip player available either side of the ball that we can get for 2 firsts, I support it.
That was after that Daniel Jones started popping up with this fibula problem, though. And like
I
the
think
moment
wasn't it
he
the
popped
week
up on the
before?
injury report with the fibula problem, he sucked.
I thought it was the week before. I thought he got hurt in Sauce's first game. I could be wrong about that. I could be
No, because
misremembering.
it's not, because that his first game was the Germany game, and he was on the injury report that week with the fibula problem.
Okay, well, then you don't like obviously you don't like it as much. But I did understand what they were doing, and I mean I think it would have behooved a number of AFC teams, like if the Broncos had made some crazy trade, if even the Bengals, right? Because the Bengals were not dead at the trade deadline. Like if any team had made a crazy move at the deadline in the AFC this year, I would have been like, I probably wouldn't have done it because by nature I think you should be conservative with your first round picks because they're so important. But I get it.
The best two trades that happened were Newsom to the Jags and Myers to the Jags.
Dude, shout out to the kid. He's like 32 years old, James Gladstone.
Sometimes
The head of their analytics group was on my podcast like 18 months ago, right, or like 20 months ago, right before he got the job.
right before you stopped doing your podcast.
It's coming back, bro. It's coming
That's
back.
good. I mean, I miss having something like random to listen to throughout the course of the week.
I just like I just had so much going on this year. I just like needed to lock in and do the fantasy football stuff. But I'm in a much better workplace organizational space to be able to get that done. Because what happened was I just like could not get working far enough ahead to get good guests. Was basically what happened.
Or what if you just get your guests like I do, like text you 25 minutes before we
Well,
start?
that's what I was doing. It was every week. It'd be like I'd text Brian or I'd text you,
Or Pete.
or I'd see if or Pete or see if like Drew or Mike could do it. And then it was like, okay, like everyone's heard our opinions on everything, and let's try and branch out a little bit.
Yeah, it is tough, especially when you get into the in football season, because people have asked me too, like why, like it's. I think this is your first time on the show during football season this year. Like you've been busy. I don't like looking for guests throughout the week during football. It's like
No,
you're the
it's
guys I'm
so
doing the shows
annoying.
with, and that's it.
Yes, yes. It's
But
just
they know when they're doing it. I know when they're doing it. I just send them the link, and we at this time every week and we start talking.
and everyone else is busy too. Like anyone you'd want to have on is like also busy. So it's like it's like a big ask. Like today, like I couldn't have done this today if we would have done our normal DFS show with John, Corinne, and Neil. So it just like worked out.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have called you to do the show because I would have done it with John. But John was on both of our shows and he couldn't do it today.
Right. That's so there's a little inside baseball for the people.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's too busy spending that almost millionaire maker win money. I mean, I could have went out to like Tambo's new studio, drove out there and done it with him, but I don't want to drive that far.
Yeah, no one needs that on a holiday weekend.
I did visit your old stomping grounds in Kansas City.
Yeah, how was the dog bowl?
Dog Bowl was a lot of fun. I actually like Kansas City. It's a very rustic, rundown city. It has cool vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kansas City. My plan was to go on the Sunday, um, but my son got sick, so and had to spend a couple days in the hospital.
Is he
So
feeling better now?
yeah, he had like a skin infection on
Ooh.
his face, and the doctor thought it might be viral. And if a little itty bitty baby has a viral infection, they have to be on an IV. It turned out to not be like it was literally like he just like had fucking acne. But so I couldn't say, peace, my wife. I'm out. I'm gonna go drive 3 hours to Kansas City and go hang out with my fantasy football friends.
It was a good time. I was sick the entire time, so that was no fun.
Yeah, yeah. You got to hang out with like basically like the biggest virgin squadron in the United States of America.
You think that's what it is?
The people who play underdog draft games, yes, they are about as nerdy of a group of people as you can get.
I got that sense, but yeah, I was telling people like, you really want to make yourself cool. Use code Mayo at Underdog and get yourself signed up. That's like instant karma points.
Pretty good. Did it work? Did you get any signups?
I feel like most of the people in the Dog Bowl already had Underdog accounts,
Yeah,
unfortunately for
but
me.
believe it or not, it does turn out that that most of the people there probably were already on the site.
But a lot of people are signing up because of Golf Best Ball, which I've been doing shows on every Monday. I'll have another one this Monday with Alex Blickel as we expose why my rankings suck, because I started drafting with my rankings. And here's the problem. I like my rankings. I think that they're valuable if you do them in context. But if someone just stumbles across my golf rankings and just uses them by the letter, they're not going to work. But you need to take ADP into consideration for them. And I don't know how to merge those two things.
I mean, I would have a large language chat GPT type thing help me with that. That's what I do for draft games is I use rankings and ADP with an AI input on it.
That's not a terrible idea. It's just a structure. Like there are certain guys that I like way better than all the good players that I think that you need to have to advance at a round one and cover your ass in some of these other tournaments, but they become less valuable as the season goes along. So you'll want to have your like Rory's and those guys, but I have all these guys ranked ahead of Rory because you're going to need them right away, but you don't need all of them right away is the problem. But I want to like, this is a really bad example. It's not a bad example because it's true, but like Chris Kirk and Jake Knapp, for example, I think hold more value than Rory does in these contests. But you're going to need a Rory. It's not even just Rory. It's like Rory, Fitzpatrick, like these high-end guys that play all the major signature events. You're going to need them down the line, but you can't get there without the other guys. So in round 2, yes, you should probably take Chris Kirk over Rory. But in round 3, you probably shouldn't take Jake Knapp over one of the signature high-end event guys, although I have both the guys ranked highly. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me, but that only makes sense to me because I've played these games and I know the intricacies of how it works. But if you were just coming to it saying, I just want to draft the best players, you'd be like, well, no, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just there's a certain type of player that I think you should splurge on early. But by my rankings, you would end up with like 7 of these guys in the first 7 rounds, and then no good players.
Which you do need some good players, particularly for like the final money weeks.
Exactly. And the signature events and that kind of thing. So I'm going to pose this question to Blickel and we'll try to rework my rankings to make it more feasible for someone who's like, give me best ball rankings. Oh, here are Pat's. Because people who drafted with mine last year, it worked out really well. And it's hard to plan what goes on in June, in January. I mean, people are facing this with the week 17 correlation stuff right now. I just didn't pay attention to that last year. I was like, get me at around 1 and then hopefully it works. And I did that and did very well. Like the guy that won ended up doing that using my rankings, doing very well. Like the rankings crushed last year, but I think that more people are kind of in tune with you just got to get at a round 1. You can't win round 4 if you don't get at a round 1. And there is a very specific way to get out of round 1.
To get out of round 1? Yeah. You started drafting playoff best ball yet, or is that too deep in the annals for you?
Don't care. I did like 2 NFL best ball drafts this year. I don't care about that.
Good for you, man.
The golf ones are so much more fun.
I mean, I draft them all. I just it's just people are still pretty bad at all these games, so you just got to get the volume in.
I don't like auto. Like I think there is a real, and this is what Sky and I kind of chatted about as well for the PGA stuff, is that it's so much more valuable to hand draft your teams in golf than it is just to leave it to like uploading rankings because of these little nuances that appear. And the drafts only take 10 minutes versus an hour, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the tough thing about a lot of the draft games is just the time involvement.
Yeah, and this one you can just bang out. And I have a rake-free contest that's up there too. It's almost like 50% full already. People want to get in that. It's like $25 on Underdog. You can have a 10 max. I think it's $5,000 to first, but it's not that many people. It's a hook you in and be like, oh, okay, here we go. And that one, the rankings don't work at all because this it's different. It's not 1 of 6 advance. It's 2 of 6 advance. So you are encouraged to take more chances in that tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go get back to Christmas.
All right. Merry Christmas, brother. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Smash the like, sub to the channel on the way out. Check out Davis's YouTube channel at Davis Mattek. And yeah, I'll see you before the new year. I'll see you Sunday.